Hi, my name is Rebecca Manning. I'm the collections manager at the Mulvane Art Museum. And today we're doing an artist spotlight with 2020 Mulvane Art Fair artist, Jenny Meyer-McCall. Hi, Jenny. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions about your practice, your career as an artist, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say. So to start off, can you tell me a little bit about your artistic and educational background, where you're from, when you started making art, where you studied?
Yeah, I am from Kansas City, Missouri. I now live in on the Kansas side in Prairie Village, Kansas. But I grew up in a suburb of Kansas City, Lee Summit, and I just have always been a creative child. I got it from my grandmother, who was quite the crafter. And so when it was time to go to school, I wanted to go to something that had an art program, but it was in a university setting because I wasn't sold on the idea of being an artist. But I wanted to have that as an option and at least start there. So then when I found something I liked better, then I would just jump that direction. So I went to K-State so I could have that university feel. And I went into the art program and I got a Bachelor of Fine Arts because I never found anything I liked any better than painting. So I just kept on that path. And so I left school and life just kind of took me in a whole bunch of different directions. And every job that I had after that really built on where I am right now as a studio full-time artist.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you. So you've mentioned painting. Are there any other media that you work with in your studio practice? Are you primarily a painter? Can you tell me a little bit about what different media you might work with?
I consider myself mixed media, but when I jury into a fair or a show, I am considered 2D mixed media. So painting is my base. I am considered a painter, but I use a multiple media process. So it's not just painting, but the overall process I would consider is, painting.
Okay, wonderful. I'm particularly interested in your air plant painting. Speaking of mixed media, when did you start making those and why?
Those are a fun product of COVID. I normally do paintings from small, like 6x6s on up, huge, larger than my wingspan. And in fact, that's where I really shine. But when COVID hit, it was right when we were supposed to be starting art fairs and starting really seeing people and interacting with clients, because winter's kind of over. And then, it's when we as in me, the artists, come out and get to interact with people. And when that shutdown happened, it mentally threw me for a loop. And I didn't know where to go. And I had a really hard time dragging myself out of this just paralyzed shell that I had become. And I decided to put my commissions on hold, and I didn't have any art fairs to paint for, and decided just to paint and just colors. And I decided to do it on wood, something that's inexpensive, something I had sitting in my garage because I couldn't go anywhere. And so I cut all these tiny little pieces of wood, and it was too early in the spring for me to start my garden, which is where I have a big passion for gardening. And so I decided I wanted to incorporate plants because that kind of brought in the other piece of me that I really loved. And so I just started creating design patterns with colors and using things I already had and just kind of repurposing some things and just letting go and just getting out of my head and just designing with paint. And that's really where they started. So they're little pieces, they're all different sizes, but they are on reclaimed wood, and they're just acrylic paint and then wire, and then I stick an air plant inside the wire. So then you have kind of a functional piece of art to hang on a wall or a shelf or something like that.
It's kind of exactly what everyone needs in their home right now, because that's where we're all sort of spending our time. And it's perfect for that. So I love that it's actually a product of this particular moment. That's really interesting.
Thank
Yeah. So you mentioned that you're usually in the spring gearing up for art fairs. So you often participate in them, I assume. What do you like about participating in art fairs?
I'm a people pleaser, and so being able to go to an art fair and sharing a body of work is really special and uplifting to me, because then I can connect directly with the clients and make that connection. And all of my pieces have hidden things inside of them, so you don't really get that total experience by just viewing them by yourself, or even unfortunately online, just so much of where life is going right now. So I try and put little blurbs in online so you can kind of get that little hidden message that you would normally get at an art fair. So I love to come up to people and talk to them and see what they need out of art and what my art can then share for them, and where those to connect. And I really, really miss my art fair people right now. And it's also where I get to meet clients, and then we have a good connection to then build for commissions, which is something else I really love to do, painting something specific for somebody, whether it's I don't have something in my art fair booth at the time that fills their need, or they buy something and then down the road they decide that they want to go that route. So I love art fairs.
I do too. I think they're a wonderful they provide a wonderful sense of community, and it helps you sort of reinvest in your communities. And I think that's a wonderful thing. So have you participated in the Mulvane Art Fair before? And if so, what did you enjoy about your experience?
Yes, I have participated in the Mulvane Fair several times. I don't know off the top of my head how many times, but it is such a wonderful fair. And I have to say, it is the community and specifically the volunteers that make that show just above and beyond. Me and my other art fair friends that go, and we always try and be together. And we say that over and over again about how wonderful the patrons are, that they just are the nicest people, whether they are physically buying from you or not. They are just so friendly and encouraging. And that's just so nice as an artist who's sitting in a chair for hours on end, is normally in the heat at Mulvane. But it's just a cheerful, encouraging fair every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Okay, so as you know, and as hopefully most of the people in the Topeka community and our broader digital community know, we were unable to have an in-person fair this year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But in the interest of sort of providing something of that experience and supporting these artists that come out and participate every year, we had decided to do, and we hold off a digital art fair gallery. So patrons can actually go online through our website and shop the gallery, linking to the artist's respective websites. If someone, you've already sort of touched on this, but if someone is interested in your work, they go on your website and they're responding to it, but they're not quite finding what they're looking for. How does the commission process work? How do they go about commissioning an original piece from you?
Commissions are a super easy process. They kind of sound intimidating, but they definitely are not. And being whether you are my next door neighbor or you are across the country, it does not matter. We can still have that same experience. but you just contact me through my website. I have several links in there for the opportunity to do so, and email me, kind of tell me what you're looking for. We talk about size, we talk about how to choose that size. I kind of have some tips and tricks that I like to share, and so we kind of talk through what you need. Definitely send me pictures of the space, or if you have a couple spaces you're looking for. Then we talk about color palette, and we just go back and forth communicating about what you do and don't want. And once we kind of hone down what it is you're looking for, then we talk about, composition. And then the best part of commissions that I love is that I can take the client's personal items and put them directly into my art. So I will take recipe cards, or it can be tangible items, pins, and like lapel pins, old jewelry. I've even been known to do dog ashes. I mean, you name it, I can put it into my painting. So I have a lot of relief, some texture that goes in my pieces, and that allows me to adhere small three-dimensional items. But then also sometimes people have personal items that are not something tangible that they can hand me, like a family recipe, or song lyrics that are like from a wedding, or something that's special, wedding vows. Just anything that you can dream up, I can put in a painting. So if you're across the country, then you just mail it to me, and then I adhere it, and I send photos in the process. And then when it's all done, I send photos, and then we talk about, does anything need to be tweaked, what you think about stuff, and then pack it up and ship it out. So it's a really easy process, and I give you a lot of options of whether payment-wise, how you want to take care of it, whether it's online or Venmo or check them and all that kind of stuff. So really, there's just so many options out there now, and it's really easy to do so. The hardest part is making the decision to do it. So I love to talk to people about even just that process, if it's a right fit for them or not. And during the pandemic, I have had more commissions than I've ever had, and I've been so fortunate to do so. And it's so wonderful to get to see that people, even though we're not able to go out and interact, that people still want art. And like you said, because people are home and they're staring at their walls, and they decide it's time to do this. So it's really been great.
Wonderful. Well, Jenny, thank you so much for joining us for Artist Spotlight. I hope that everyone watching will go out and shop the virtual art fair gallery via the Mulvane's website and check out Jenny's work. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.